Today we're going to be going over all of our numbers of what it took to raise and butcher our meat birds. If you're new to the channel, my name's Ryan. This is Bluebird Homestead. We just wrapped up raising and butchering 94 meat birds, and we have kept track of the numbers as we went, and we want to share that information with you. So if you're just starting out and you are curious what it takes to raise your own meat birds, this might give you some insight on that. I'll have links to all the products we'll be talking about in the description below. And all the prices I'm talking about are based on spring of 2022 rates. So I'm going to be breaking these costs into two different categories. One is just the cost of the items that it took to raise and butcher the chickens. And then another category of costs, I would call it just upfront cost. It's really one-time cost for things like a plucker and a scalder and those type of things. So we purchased our meat birds from Murray McMurray Hatchery. We ordered 100 meat birds. They sent us 115. I think that's pretty typical. They account for some loss in transit. So we started out with 115 meat birds. Those 115 meat birds cost us $290. And we purchased the Jumbo Cornish Cross birds. We read that other people had very good success with those birds, so that's why we went that route. So we purchased 115 birds, and throughout the process we lost about 21. I think that's a little high, maybe, and we probably have some room for improvement for next time. But you can definitely expect to lose some birds. So we had 94 birds that we butchered, and those 94 birds averaged about 6.8 pounds for a total poundage of 641 pounds of chicken. So another major cost was feed. We decided to go with organic feed. We spent $1,400 in feed. We kept feed in front of them at all times. We never let them get low on feed, and they would definitely seem to produce because we had very large birds. So another cost was grit. We gave them grit throughout the process. We weren't religious about it, but we did have grit in front of them most of the time. That was about $25. Another cost was the bedding. While we were brooding them, we kept fresh bedding in the brooder the entire time. That was about $40. So when we got to the butchering, we had ice that we bought and then propane. We bought lots of ice to keep the birds cold in coolers as we brought that core temperature down to 40 degrees. So we spent $130 on ice. We also needed propane for our scalder, and that was $40 of propane. Another cost we had on butcher day was $80 worth of vacuum seal bags. So that brings the total cost for raising these birds at $2,005. So that brings the cost to raise our birds at $3.13 a pound. So we came up with the value of our chicken at about $6 a pound. What makes this chicken really good is that they were grass-fed, they were bug-fed. We used organic grain. They had plenty of sunshine and fresh air. And we've eaten some of this chicken, and the taste is definitely superior to some of the stuff you can buy in the grocery store. So based on $6 a pound, we raised about $3,800 worth of chicken. And what's great about the Jumbo Cornish Cross breed is that we did that in only 9 weeks. So $3,800 worth of chicken is what we raised, and we spent about $2,000. So now for our upfront costs. These are costs, I would call them one-time costs, really. It's for the equipment, the infrastructure, the fencing, those kind of things that you're just going to pay for one time. So to start out, we have our brooder. I made the brooder myself. So odds and ends, bolts, and screws, let's say about $50. So as we were brooding them, we had waterers, feeders, and heat lamps. All those things were about $250. And then after they were done with the brooder, we moved them out to the grass, and we had a meat shawl that we built and an electric fence. The meat shawl was about $200 in supplies, and the fence was about $460. So next we have all the upfront costs for butcher day. Our yard bird plucker was $550. Our turkey fryer, which we used for the scalding process, was $117. Kill cones, I made my own kill cones out of 5-gallon buckets. That was $10. We had knives at $23, a laser thermometer at $20, heat gloves at $25, and some other odds and ends are about $15. So all those upfront costs totaled to about $1,890. So cost to raise the birds was $2,005. All of our upfront costs was $1,890. So that gives us a total cost that we spent this year on our meat birds at $3,895. So that $3,895 divided by our 641 pounds of chicken comes out to about $6 a pound. So this first year, we broke even. So we basically paid off all of our infrastructure costs, all of our upfront costs. So next year, we'll just have to pay to actually just raise the birds. So I didn't talk about some other infrastructure costs, and these are things that you may have around the house, you may need to get. Things like extension cords, hoses, freezers, fridges. We did purchase a large deep freezer for our basement to house all these birds. I didn't want to include that in the cost because we would have that anyways without this chicken operation. Another big cost is a generator. If you have over 600 pounds of meat in your freezer, you definitely don't want to lose power and lose all that meat. We live in an area where we lose power several times a year, so having a generator that we can power our freezers and fridges throughout any storm event is definitely beneficial, and it's a must. Another thing these numbers don't take into account is just our time in raising these birds. It definitely took some time, not too much time, and really it's fun, so it's more of a hobby than a job, but definitely take that into account. It takes time, twice a day, feeding, watering, looking after these chickens, building structures, all those things. So I hope you found this video beneficial. Really got into all the nitty-gritty numbers of what it took to raise and butcher these chickens. Again, there's links in the description for all the things we purchased to raise and butcher these meat birds. And some of the links are affiliate Amazon links. So if you purchase the item through that link, we get a commission on that. It's no additional charge to you. But if you want to support the channel in some way, that is one way that you could do it. Again, I'm Ryan. This is Bluebird Homestead, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. So to start, we purchase. Purchased. Have a day. Have a good day. Have a blessed day.